Welcome to Mimi's Math Channel. Today I will demonstrate how to interpret function notations. The first thing that you need to know is that your functions are written as f of x, and sometimes it could be g of h, g of x. It could be anything as long as it has a function name and an input. Or your input represents your x-axis. And think about it, where is your input located on this function notation? It's inside the parentheses, right? So inside starts with an I, input starts with an I. So that's how you can keep up with what this represents. And the entire name f of x represents your output, which is another way of just saying y. When you're reading this, it's read as f of x. So for this entire video, we're going to use these same two graphs, and what you need to pay attention to is the function names. So this one is named function f, this one is function g. On the x-axis, we see that it is represented by time, which is shown in hours. And then on the y-axis is your temperature shown as degrees Fahrenheit. So for these fictitious scenarios in example 1, we are looking at column F and column G. Temperature after 5 hours, function F. If I go to hours, that's my x, and I'm going to look for 5. 5 is approximately right here, and then my output is my y value. Where does this graph show the y output? It's at 60. So when you write this, it's going to be written as f of 5 is equal to 60. 5 again is your input, that's your x-axis, and then the entire output is f of 5, which is going to be 60. You do the same thing for the G graph. So I go over to where it is 5, and then I look where my graph meets the y-axis, and it's going to be 20. So you will write this time G of 5. The main thing that you want to pay attention to is your function name because it can change. So we're going to do that for this one as well. It says temperature at the beginning of the day. Well, we're going to say that that's going to be 0. So for F is 0, 25. And then for G is going to be G of 0 is 75. Temperature after 9 hours, going and doing the same thing. Go to 9, and that's going to be about 5. And then if I go to my G graph, at 9 on the x-axis, it's going to be 40 on the y-axis. What I want you to pay attention to is always have the exact same input. So 5, 0, and 9. The only thing that changed was the output because it depended on the graph that you were looking at and also the function name. So when I'm reading the scenario, it said hour. So that was a clue that that's my input, which is going to go inside of the parentheses. And then my output has to be my y values where it meets on my graph. So for 5, again, it met here. So that's why it said 60. And on the other side where it says the function for G, when I went to 5, this time my output was 20. Pay attention to what units are being given to you in your scenarios. For example 2, I'm asked to describe what each expression represents in this context. And I'm just going to pay attention to which function is asking about, and then I'm going to describe in words what this means. I know that 4 means my input. That's talking about time. For this first one, it says G of 4. So I'm going to go over here. I could say that after 4 hours, the temperature was 10 degrees Fahrenheit, or I could say the temperature was 10 degrees Fahrenheit after 4 hours. You can say it either way. It means the same thing. So on the next one, we're asked to look at function f, and the input is 2. So we're going to go on our x-axis where it's 2, and we know this is hours, and we're going to see where does it meet the graph, and then look at our y-axis to see what the output will be. After 2 hours, the temperature is going to be 55 degrees. Now this next one, we're looking at the function g graph. However, it does not give us a specific time, nor does it give us an output, but you can still interpret this. So the way that you can write this is you can say a certain temperature is reached after T hours. For example 3, what does each function mean in this situation? Using the same two graphs, f of 3 is equal to 80. What does that mean? Well, if I go to my input 3 and then I go up, it's telling me that after 3 hours, the temperature is 80 degrees. Or I can say the temperature is 80 degrees after 3 hours. For the next one, it's asking me to go to the G-graph. 6 is my input, 35 is my output. So I go to 6, which is my input on the x-axis. My output is y, which is 35 degrees. This one, going back to our f function graph, it does not have a specific input or specific time, but it does have an output. So you can word this, the temperature was 30 degrees Fahrenheit after T hours, or you can say it after T hours, the temperature was 30 degrees Fahrenheit. And then our last example, we're determining whether or not the following statements are true. F of 7 is going to be 70. Well, I'm asked, is 70 greater than G of 7? So I'm going to go over to my function G graph and look for 7, and that is going to be 50. Is this statement true or false? Well, 70 is greater than 50, so therefore it's true. If I look at G of 8, is the output equal to 35? If I go here and I go to my output, it says 25. So no, that is not true. This one is false. And then the last one, if I go to my f function where the x-axis is 1 and I'm looking for my output of f of 1, is that less than, so that's going to be 40, is on my x-axis, and I go up and I see my graph is at 75. Is this statement true or false? Well, this statement says that 40 is less than 75, so therefore it is true. Well, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Have an amazing day.